Jerry, good to see you here on Health Connection again.
Good to be here.
Nice to see you. We're going to talk about stress. It's more dangerous than you think, according to the title of our piece here. It's a commonly used word. We all talk about stress. So with it in such common usage, what exactly is stress?
Stress is basically the body's reaction to things that are outside of our comfort zone. It could be just a change in schedule. It could be work-related problems. It could be health problems, financial problems with the economy, politics, anything that gets an individual to where they start worrying more excessively about a problem than they are working to solve it.
Do we all deal with stress in the same way? Do we experience it the same way?
No, we don't. I mean, there's individuals that you can pile the work on, or they seem to have everything going wrong with them, and they continue to function at a very high level. Usually when stress first begins, you might have that little sweaty palm, the increase in heart rate, the feeling of like you have to give a presentation, the feeling of doom that's on that, but it quickly passes. Other individuals, that the more stress that they have, they just break down. They're unable to keep going with the amount of stress that's being handed to them.
Well, with respect to stress, warning signs that we need to pay attention to, what are they?
Oh, the basic ones that occur, again, the sweaty palms, the increase in heart rate, those are things that are transient, that are going to go away. But when stress becomes a problem, when it affects an individual, the relationship with others, it affects their ability to complete projects. Stress has been defined as having your foot constantly on the gas pedal sometimes. You're constantly agitated, you're constantly going. It's also been described as having your foot on the brake pedal where you're stopping down, you're ignoring everything that's going on. Individuals will go through all sorts of different reactions to stress in order to cope with the things that have changed.
What's the tipping point? When do we go from normal stress, everyday stress that we're all subject to chronic stress?
When we're no longer able, or when we begin to have difficulty handling the day's problems. That may be a relationship, it may be working with a supervisor or subordinates, it may be able to handle your job in itself. Those are the points where you really start to need to look at either getting help, counseling, working with your finances, working with relationships to try and keep that from becoming into a chronic stress problem that affects your health.
Well, you say affect our health. What is the long-term impact on us physically? What does stress do to our health?
Well, it can cause severe depression. It can cause individuals to go into such a level of depression to where they basically just want to sit back and absolutely do nothing. It can cause cardiovascular problems, sleep deprivation. Individuals cannot get even a good night's sleep to be able to handle the day's problems. Teeth problems from grinding your teeth, especially when you're trying to relax. And again, the psychological effect of it is probably as devastating as the physical.
Practical means, effective ways to manage our stress, do you have some?
First of all, you always try and figure out what the stress is. I heard a speaker a long time ago say you have to eat an elephant one bite at a time. And if you try to look at your stressors, the things that are bothering you all at once, it's insurmountable. You have to break it down to the individual things that are causing stress. Is it a relationship? Is it difficulty at work? Financial? Difficulty with health? Those are things that can be broken down into individual components to be looked at. Recognize when you have stress and not be afraid to ask for help.
Well, in issuing ourselves our own report cards with respect to managing our stress, how do we know when we're failing?
Generally, whenever it becomes to the point where you're starting to again have difficulty managing your daily life, when you're having difficulty completing projects, difficulty with relationships, with worsening health problems, those are the times that you've gone into a chronic stress model that you really need to have outside help.
On the subject of outside help, you may have answered it. When do I know it's time to seek professional help?
Again, when it starts to become insurmountable. Everybody is going to have stress on a daily basis. We all see it with timelines. We see it with having to meet appointments, with paying bills, with meeting doctors, other types of appointments. When that becomes to the point where you're not willing to work it, or if you're becoming such a problem in working it, it's time to talk to a counselor, it's time to talk to clergy, other co-workers, individuals, a spouse, get counseling, talk to your healthcare provider. There may actually be a physical reason that you're having the stressful moment. We can look at a physical, we can do some various blood tests to look at thyroid, other things that may also be impacting your ability to control stress.
Very well. Jerry, good to see you again, and thank you.
Great, thanks, great to see you again.